From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are following at this hour. Canada's Liberal Party could win a fourth consecutive term in power next week, in large part because of U.S. tariffs, trade war, and annexation threats from President Trump. Prime Minister Mark Carney and the Liberals would likely have been soundly defeated in Monday's election until the American president started attacking Canada's economy and even threatening its sovereignty, including suggesting it should become the 51st state. Opposition leaders, such as former Quebec Premier Jean Charest, believe that because Donald Trump immersed himself into their lives, he framed how the Canadian people should vote in the election. According to Charest, what Trump has done is shed light on who we are. Regarding separatists in French-speaking Quebec, Charest went on to say that Quebecers are very much aligned with other Canadians in defending the country and responding very firmly to the fact that we're not going to be the 51st state. Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative Party leader, hoped to make the election a referendum on former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, whose popularity declined in recent months. Toward the end of Trudeau's decade in power, food and housing prices rose and immigration surged. As a result, Trudeau resigned, and Mark Carney, a two-time central banker, became the Liberal Party's leader and Canada's Prime Minister. We were looking at a scenario where the Conservatives were going to rake in a huge majority, said Charest, a Conservative. Here we are months later in another world. Trump's trade war and attacks have led Canadians to cancel trips to the United States and refuse to buy American goods. And it might have contributed to record early voting, with 7.3 million Canadians casting ballots before Election Day. Carney said the 80-year period when the U.S. embraced the mantle of global economic leadership and forged alliances rooted in trust and respect is over. The Erie Gay News is reporting that National Honor Our LGBTQ+ Elders Day is Friday, May 16th. Established in 2015 by Baltimore's Chase Brexton Health Services, National Honor Our LGBTQ+ Elders Day gained national recognition through social media and the numerous contributions made by LGBTQ+ seniors. There are approximately 2.7 million LGBTQ+ adults aged 50 and older in the United States. National Honor Our LGBTQ+ Elders Day is an opportunity to recognize the contributions made by LGBTQ+ elders in Erie and northwestern Pennsylvania. In 2023, a group of LGBTQ+ elders identified a need and formed Aging with Pride to support the aging LGBTQ+ population in Erie. Initially a social organization, Aging with Pride grew to incorporate a commitment to the greater Erie community through contributions to existing organizations. This small but vibrant association includes former teachers, registered nurses, managers, therapists, federal employees, manufacturing employees, and carpenters. Our members volunteer supporting the arts and working to improve the quality of life in Erie. Aging with Pride members volunteer in community events to support Erie's homeless population, such as Blizzard of Blankets and clothing and food pantry drives. Several members assisted at Voices for Independence No Limits Adaptive Challenge. Members participated in intergenerational game night with young people at a local counseling center. Aging with Pride has active representation on the Independent Council for Aging and on the Greater Erie Community Action Committee, which allows us to support broad initiatives. LGBTQ+ older adults are at high risk for elder abuse, neglect, and exploitation due to factors such as social isolation, solo aging, past experiences with violence, harassment, and discrimination. AWP organizes social activities such as dining at local restaurants and game nights to mitigate social isolation. There have been visits to art galleries in Cleveland and Pittsburgh. The group also schedules speakers on topics such as Medicare, which are of vital interest to all seniors. Efforts have resulted in establishing relationships with other LGBTQ+ senior organizations in surrounding cities to share information and plan gatherings. Since January 2025, a strong interest in establishing a formal archive to reflect the history of LGBTQ plus life in northwestern Pennsylvania has evolved, resulting in the collection of information and sources relevant to this goal. That's the news for this hour. Now back to more music on PEP Radio.